Hey, it's Phenomenal STEMist. Just give me a second, Niemah. I have to share it because this is my regular page. We're live though. We're live on Phenomenal STEMist. But I have to basically transfer it to share it on my page. So that more people will see it because people aren't following me. Many of you have liked my page, but you need to follow in order to see. We look very nice. You look nicer. I'm wearing my scrubs in honor of Medical Professional Day week.
Mine on too.
Yeah, you should have put some scrubs on. But you look all nice, and I look like I'm wearing scrubs.
That's all right.
But it's all good. I'm so happy you were able to fill in the gap for me. This is Niemah. Hold on. What's your married name?
It's Chapman.
Niemah Chapman. Guy Chapman. I know that's your name. Sorry, my bad. Niemah Chapman. I know her as Niemah Born. And it's funny, like Niemah is one of the first people I've ever met.
I know.
You like, and it's funny. We were in not preschool, kindergarten together. But you always remembered me because I was at your school, our school, Linden, for 1 year, kindergarten, and then throughout life, like Pathfinders, there's something called Pathfinders, which is like the Girl Scouts from my church. You would always come up to me and be like, "Hi," and I would be like, "Hi, I do remember you." And we didn't come back together till high school.
I know.
But you always remembered me, Niemah.
My memory was really good back then. Now,
not so much. All right, not so much. All right, so hey, Phenomenal STEMist guys, it's the Phenomenal STEMist, and I'm with Niemah Chapman. She's gonna introduce herself a little later as to what she does, but we're gonna get right into it because we're talking about women in science, and many of my interviewees are mothers. So I don't want to be too long with you. So the first thing is, when did you fall in love with your discipline?
That's a little bit of a heated question.
Okay.
I think I had, maybe you're destined to do something, but my mom is a nurse.
Yes, she was. Yes, she is.
Yeah. I kind of fell in love with nursing through her, or through science, really. I thought about being a pediatrician, and then I didn't like the thought of sick kids, and then I went into nursing. And it definitely wasn't what I thought it was going to be when I first started. But I loved it. I love taking care of people. I don't do pediatrics right now, so I can't talk about kids, but adults, I like teaching them about different treatments, medication stuff, or just taking care of them. I started off as a nursing assistant. So, that's quite different from what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
So I think my love for it came from actually working. Okay. But I always had a desire of, to help people, Yeah.
So basically, your mom was a nurse, and I think she had a great impact on you. Like I've always like, Niemah, you need to nursing is and many of my students who are going to be nurses, everybody knows like nursing is the field, and especially West Indian parents, they push nursing, and it is a great career. I must say it is a great career. But then you knew you want to do something in science, and then you didn't really start liking it until you started to do it.
Yeah, well, I think there's two different things. There's science, you might like science in school. I like A&P in high school.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that you're gonna like nursing. Or
right.
You can like medicine, but there are different branches in all of these disciplines.
Right. It doesn't equate. You don't know nursing till you start putting your hands in places that they don't belong. And then if you're ready for it. All right. Shout out to Miss English. She was our anatomy and physiology teacher. What tools did you use to discipline yourself? What tools did you use to discipline yourself?
I don't know. I probably just went it. I really think so.
Niemah, I had a long conversation with my students the Thursday before spring break, and I said, stop winging it. Like, I literally said, stop winging it. And so you're gonna now put on here, you winged it. They're gonna be, all right, Dr. B, you're lying.
No, I'm not saying it's a good thing. It's a good thing. That's what I did.
Okay.
You know, hindsight is 20/20.
Right.
It's definitely true. So, I think what kids are doing now, or what I didn't do, is really getting a feel of the different avenue they can do in healthcare. Right? Where I'm in healthcare. So meaning maybe working at a hospital for a little bit, or volunteering to kind of get a better sense of what it is that you want to do. Doing more summer programs, either in high school and or college, to say, hey, you know, I thought maybe I wanted to do nursing, but maybe pharmacy is better for me. So having those avenues, or having people in your corner who are in those professions, who can tell you a little bit more of the background.
Right.
Earlier, people talk about or think about what they want to be, but they think about dollars and cents, or what their perception is from TV, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever you think.
Yeah.
So I think if I were to tell my younger self what to do, part of my disciplining would be, hey, why don't you go out and spend a real day, not just standing around, maybe, you know, being the housekeeper, being a tech, being a, you know, candy striper. I think they may still have those in some places. Or just being a volunteer. In the summer, a lot of academic centers and hospitals will allow high school students to come in. So those are the things that I think I would have done. Right.
To get you to see yourself in the actual healthcare field, because I've been talking about a lot of my friends. I was talking to a dentist. She actually took a year off before she started dentistry last week, and a lot of people are saying it's not organic chemistry. You know, or you can learn organic, but when you have to learn to deal in healthcare, it's two different beasts. And so getting experience is very important. Okay.
Right. Yeah. There is definitely a knowledge base and an application to what you're
right.
To what you're learning. And healthcare is so vast. There's so many different scientists that work there. If you know,
the
doctors, the nurse, and then there's sort of they're not say in between, but the nurse practitioner, the physician assistants, you know, the doctors that are mostly research based versus the ones that are caring for patients at the bedside. So there's a lot of different avenues that you can go, but you may not know that if you're not exposed to that. I feel like when I grew up, you know, you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, you have West Indian background, a couple of two
choices.
Really go.
Yeah, and like, yeah, I asked my classmate, my students, you know, especially in the higher levels, like, don't tell me nurse. The first day of school, what do you want to be? Nursing is not a good enough answer. Like, what kind of nurse? And if you don't know, by the end of the semester, you need to know. You need to find out, because you need to channel yourself into the direction of nursing that you want to. Shadowing is, like you said, a really good example. Yeah.
It is a very good example. And sometimes you just don't know. You don't know until you have the exposure. So that's a really good way to do that. Because maybe, there are people who start and they figure they want to be a surgeon. When they go and they hate medicine altogether.
Right. So, right. Like last week, she wanted to be a pediatrician. And like you said, you wanted to be a pediatrician too. Yeah. And then I was talking to my friend David Josie maybe 3-4 weeks ago. And he's like, one of the only pediatricians who said, like most people, I wanted to be a pediatrician. Most kids, it's our first, you know, experience in a professional scientist, you know, experience with a professional scientist.
Right. Their pediatrician was kind and nice.
Sweet. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all those things.
Yeah. Okay, so you go ahead.
For people who like informatics, they even have you know, discipline within informatics for science, for a nurse, or even
nurses. Yeah, it's vast. So you're saying you winged it. You went through a path that was pretty much set for yourself. But if you were your what you would tell your younger self is discipline yourself by, guiding, doing a little bit more investigation about healthcare fields. Don't just say, I want to be a nurse. You have to get some experience shadowing and something like that.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I did do some of that, but I didn't do it
enough
to the extent that I should have done it.
Okay.
And when I started nursing, I did nursing for maybe a year, 2 years before I went back to school to get my master's. And that wasn't in my game plan. I just got there and I'm like, you know what? I'm meant to do more. I'm meant to do more than that. So some people, they know exactly what they want to do. They want to do something for 2-3 years and then go to the next phase of, their profession. So that's what I kind of mean by winging it. I just kind of felt like this is not enough for me. I wanted to do something more, not really sure.
Right.
And then kind of, eeny, that looks good. I can do that.
Right.
By sort of being immersed into certain areas, I realized, hey, I kind of like this. Let me kind of lean more towards this, which is sort of like wherever the wind kind of blows you end up going. Until you find what you like. But it's not. I don't think it's the best way to go about doing things.
Hey, it's your way, and that's what I want to know, because there are people out there just like you, Niemah, just like you, and I love these interviews because it shows people finish lines. Especially African Americans, we don't see much people at the finish line. We see a lot of people saying, "I want to be," and somebody who is just like you can see you as a finish line. So tell your story. I love it. Thank you. What were your challenges? What were your challenges in school?
What were my challenges? So I'm currently in my last semester right now. I went back to I'm doing a postmaster's currently. So right now, my challenges are...
Yay, Niemah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I've been trying to finish this thing for, I don't know, I started 2015 and took a year off because I had a baby.
Yeah.
2 babies.
Speaking of which, Mother in Science, like last week was 4 babies. And this week is three babies. Just to let you know, guys, Niemah got her bachelor's in nursing, right?
Yeah.
From Atlantic Union College. She just made it out. Oakwood. Just a little bit of shade. From Atlantic Union College, which, it was a very good nursing school when you were there. Yeah, it was. Number 2, you went to Columbia, correct? Columbia University, and did your master's in...
My master's in nursing, so I have a acute care nurse practitioner degree.
And so now?
And now I'm doing my family nurse practitioner.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. So this set of challenges is juggling work, momhood, my school, and then first grade again. I'm back in first grade. So
what do you mean by back in first grade? Well,
when your child's in first grade, you're by definition.
That must be a mother term. You're back in. Is that a mother term?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
I have homework and check homework. I need projects and all that stuff. Yeah,
so you're back in first grade, meaning when your child is in first grade, you're in first grade, and you have to still be I hear him in the background. You have to be a nurse practitioner, a wife, a mother, and a first grade teacher.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so that's a lot. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So, those are challenges, but so the first master's I did not have children.
Right.
And I guess the challenge is there, but I was working full time, which I probably could have had the luxury of kind of bumping my parents and not doing that. But juggling, versus college versus my college experience versus my sort of my undergrad versus my graduate experience. So undergrad, I did nothing. I just was in school, worry about myself, had to do nothing else besides that.
Right.
Graduate now, I decided to work full time and go to school, and that was a little bit harder juggling the two. I did work in college, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Fit.
Yeah.
I worked nights, I worked days. I had a real job.
Right.
But I kind of long for those times now. Now I have added more.
So time management, having to do a whole lot while in school, whether it be graduate school as you're working, and you were working as a nurse.
Yeah.
That's no joke.
No.
That's more than a job. I mean, nurses, we're going to talk about your challenges as a nurse, but you guys are on your feet for a long time, and then to go back to school at the same time as working, and then now being a mother and going to school. So your struggle is being able to manage your time as doing these things. Okay.
Right.
But you can make it. You made it then. You make it now.
No, it's time management, and depending on where you are in life, because this going back to school now looks different because the whole institution is different. So if you've been out the game for about 7 or 8 years, you're
right?
Like, what the heck is that? You want me to log on to what and to do what?
Hey Dana, just a shout out Dana. Dana just joined from Northeastern Wilmot.
Oh hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the hurdle of being an older or more mature student. And coming back into more technology than what you're used to for school was a little bit of a challenge as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there are little hurdles you can get over, but it's just, a different environment. You have to know how to be disciplined, know how to handle yourself. And time management is a real big important factor, I think, with any schooling.
Right. Okay, so if you had a choice, you liked it when you were in school and you just did 100% schooling, or do you like taking time off to work and doing both? There's some benefits for both, I think.
Yeah, I mean, life experience, you can't discount that.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like if I had nothing else to do but to go to school, I probably would still be halfway late turning things in just in enough time. You have all the time in the world.
Right.
It's just how you think about something.
That's right.
If you know you have 3 hours to do something,
you get it done. You get it done. That's true.
Have a week to do it, you're gonna wait until. I mean, it depends what kind of person you are, but you'll just wait until you have that deadline. The deadline is met. You'll do it then.
Yeah.
So now I have to live by my calendar and say, hey, I need to carve out X amount of time for me. Time for the kids, time for X, Y, Z, and I have to kind of stick to that.
Yeah.
And if I don't stick to that, then the wheels are gonna start falling off the bus.
Yeah. That's very good. Okay. So first of all, tell us what you do, and then talk about your challenges.
Okay. So currently, I am working in the medical intensive care unit as a nurse practitioner, and what that means, because there are many types of nurse practitioners. So what that means for where I work and where I've worked before in New York is that we see patients who are in the ICU sick, and then we can diagnose them, treat them, meaning prescribe antibiotics, different medications. We do some procedures as well, and write notes, etc. Transfer patients in and out the hospital. So this is kind of what I do.
So you said a medical intensive care unit nurse practitioner.
Right.
Yes.
So
okay.
Right. So I'm in the ICU, in the medical part. They're different ICUs.
Yeah. Like what's the difference between a medical ICU and a what are they?
They're surgical ICUs.
Okay.
They patients who have come to the ICU post-surgery.
Post-surgery.
They're neuro ICUs that deal with people who have brain injury. So if you had a stroke maybe, or you got into a car accident and had some sort of neurological issue. So that ICU specifically deals with neurologic problems.
Okay.
Then there's a cardiac, and sometimes they call it CC, a cardiac care unit or cardiac ICU. And that deals with people who have heart attacks, or heart failure, and things like that. So, and then everybody else
goes to the medical. Okay. Medical intensive care. Okay.
Yeah. So those are the kind of patients I see, and they range from people who may have a pneumonia, who need the breathing machine and ventilator, people who have out of control diabetes, and they have really high sugars, like in the thousands or hundreds. What else do we see? We see patients who are really sick with lupus, people who have liver problems that are probably pre-transplant patients. We see a lot of withdrawals, or withdrawals meaning they were on heroin, found down somewhere, someone did CPR on the street and they came in. Cocaine, stuff like that. So people who are pretty
banged up from all walks of types of diseases other than like neuro, cardiac, etc. Wow, Niemah, I'm so proud of you. We're the same age, but I'm just saying. Okay, so what are your challenges?
What are my challenges? So I think the one challenge is the profession itself. So I graduated back in 2004, and at that time there were not a lot of nurse practitioners. There are some, but there weren't a lot within the hospital. So there are a lot in the pediatric world, but in the adult world, in the inpatient world, there were not a lot. So some of my challenges were to kind of find out where I belong within the hospital and to help the physicians, understand what my role is within the healthcare system. So that part is a challenge. And then there's also a challenge of just dealing with people who are critically ill. So for instance, unfortunately, we see a lot of people who are probably on their way to die.
I know.
That really tough conversations with families who have to make decisions for people who didn't have that conversation about what do you want to do at the end of life. You want people pounding on your chest, you want electricity going through your body, etc. So those conversations are challenging and they're very draining. And then you have just the overall challenge of being physically or emotionally drained by taking care of patients who are quite ill. As you pour your sort of heart into it, all the nurse, all the staff does this, and then if the patient dies, you're emotionally it can be daunting.
Yeah. Wow. Those are serious challenges, and that I'm glad you're bringing out that reality that nurses see, especially those that are in critical care or ICUs. Yeah, and even like I was talking to a neonatal nurse, seeing very sick babies, like helping. You say you want to help people, you want to be a nurse and you want to help people. Just know that you're going to be meeting them at the well. People don't go to doctors, it's vulnerable people, sick people, old people, and that's a challenge. Yeah. Okay, so those are deep challenges. What are your favorite parts of your career?
The favorite parts, obviously the favorite parts are when people get better and get out. We've had a couple of people who maybe had a lung transplant and come back months later. You're like, you kind of look familiar. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Get to see when patients come back and to show gratitude for the care that they were given, and not that people are looking for the things, but just to be able to see that, wow, we've actually made a difference in somebody's life. That's really good. I love kind of critical care. So what that means to me is I like the fast pace of changing vital signs. People needing emergency procedures, people needing so medications like bring up their blood pressure if they're in shock, etc. So I kind of like it fast paced. So those things, which obviously unfortunate for the person who's going through, but
right. But you dig that, Niemah. Maybe it's because you have such a cool personality. It works for you. I don't see you liking fast pace. You're so. You were active. I guess. Yeah.
Well, it's fast, but it's not like I'm running around
like emergency. Yeah.
But it's funny that you say that. Somebody mentioned, they're like, oh, you don't get drawn in or so excited. I'm like, no, I can't think when people are too excited. So even though things are moving quickly, so
it's focused.
And a lot of it is anticipation, right? I can see you've seen this 100 times. If you don't do X, Y, and Z soon, this is what's gonna happen. So if you're able to anticipate this, even though you have to do 3 or 4 things simultaneously, you know, you'll be able to save off the patient needing to get coded, or you know this is happening. Why not have these conversations? Because I don't think that this is going to really be fruitful.
Right.
So some of it is just really anticipating what's going to happen, what trajectory we're going in, and making these hard decisions. And a lot of it is
quickly.
You have to move quick.
Yeah. And you have a sharp mind for sure to do that. Speaking of what you were saying about making the doctors clear in terms of who you are, like you said, 2004 to 2017, there's nurse practitioners are on a totally different level now than when you were when you first graduated. Like, they're basically the doctors. Would you say that?
So we've definitely grown in numbers. And we're getting younger and younger. So when I started, I graduated from Columbia, and I was working at Columbia at the time. I believe there were maybe 2 or 3 in-house nurse practitioners. Now there are tons of them.
Yeah.
And one of them, who was working in the ICU at the time, was actually my instructor as well. He was only there part-time, so there was no one in their medical ICU. Now they have a huge group.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's probably at least 10 or 12 of them, a huge group of nurse practitioners in that particular ICU that specialize in doing things like ECMO. So it's blown up in the last 10, 15 years now. So it's definitely different. I like it, but you know, healthcare is
changing.
It's old school.
Okay.
In a certain
so
you go who are not used to, say, nurse practitioners may not know exactly where you fall into. And then to confuse it even more, there are different types of nurse practitioners. There are those that are acute care. So my degree is now morphed, so they no longer offer a solo acute care, like adult acute care, etc. So in pediatrics, I think they have that down pat. They started off with pediatrics nurse practitioners, but we are also in the outpatient world. So they have family nurse practitioners. They have adult nurse practitioners that work within
practices.
Practices, right? So they can open their own practices depending on the state. They can be in the doctor's office, etc. So you're seeing more of us.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember a conversation we had at Oakwood. Well, we talked on the phone. Do you remember? Your memory said it's not good.
I do remember a conversation. I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
I'm talking about the one I was like, you were thinking about staying longer and go to medical school. I said, girl, you better finish, girl, and be a nurse practitioner.
I do remember that.
That was an awesome conversation, and just to see you like doing big things. I'm sure you'll be fine with the family practice, family nurse practitioner program that you're saying that's what it's called?
Yeah. This one is great. It's interesting. I'm not used to being outside with people.
Yeah.
You know, regular problems.
Normal, easy.
And taking them for you to go home like that. You sure you want to go to the hospital?
Yeah. Camille just joined. Hey, Camille. From Lebanon and Northeastern too. The Northeastern crew is on Facebook Live right now. But thank you so much, Niemah. It's just so great to see you succeeding. As I said before, I like to show people, especially there are a lot of people out there that want to be nurses and nurse practitioners. And the foundation of nursing is STEM. You took a lot of science courses to get here. And though you say you wing it, she was a good student, so I don't know what she's talking about. So she is, yes, I am the phenomenal STEMist, and so is this chick right here. Thanks, Niemah. Camille says, hey, love bugs.
I really am so proud of you. Keep up the good work. Our kids need you. And now that I'm starting school again, God bless you.
Thank you.
Underappreciated.
Yes, we are. But I mean, I just came off of spring break, so I don't need to be appreciated that much. We get all the vacations. Yeah. So much. Thank you so much. You are a godsend. Appreciate it. And you have a good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night, Dana. Good night, Camille.
Good night.